Welcome to the second episode of Writing with Rex, with your host, the Theosaurus Rex. Today is going to be a short one because a friend of mine and I took a long lunch to go and explore a local oddity within our general town. More details on that later on, probably. So I am running late, which means that there's going to be issues. Anyway, that's a whole side issue. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, what are we going to talk about today? Remember that these things are done in one take with no editing. Why? Why do I have so many things on my page with one take and no editing? Well, because it forces me to be better. And I don't take so much time nitpicking everything. So, anyway, today we're going to talk about skepticism. Skepticism is it's really pretty big in the YouTube community. It used to be a lot bigger. There's a number of anti-social justice warriors that are skeptics. There's a number of skeptics that have gone social justice warrior. Sometimes they call themselves and identify as a community. Sometimes they don't. It's all good. But I want to talk about how skepticism is oftentimes seen as the rational, right, intelligent way to do things. So I'll start off by arguing, or by admitting, that what in the world is There's someone from Florida driving, and they are driving slow and terrible. But he's doing like push-ups on the steering wheel. Anyway, a lot of times skeptics are seen as the intelligent, the rational people because they don't just believe anything that comes by them. They examine it. They use science and facts and logic and stuff like that. And oftentimes they do. And a lot of times, especially in the more scientific fields, they are praised because they haven't fallen into something. The only problem with skepticism is that oftentimes it can blind you to your own biases, i.e. the people who will not, like maybe the scientists that believe in evolution so much they won't even consider the option that something else could have been involved in it. They shut down other hypotheses instead of testing it against everything, which is the true scientific thing to do. Or the people who believe in the science of the gaps, which the God of the gaps is where that kind of came from, which is the idea that, oh, well, we don't understand why this does it. It must be God. Well, the science of the gaps theory, I don't know if it's official, but it's what I use sometimes, says, well, we don't know why this is this. All we know is that 100 years ago, we didn't know why X was Y, and now we do, so we're just 100 years away from finding it. Science will explain it to us later on. Okay, well, doesn't that take just as much faith in science to prove something as it does something else? Anyway, that's a side issue, though. The whole thing is that the skeptical community could be super skeptical and not take into account the reality of things. Anyway. What does that have to do with today? Well, today, as my friend and I were going on our expedition, he made an interesting comment. He said that he is hyper-skeptical and I am hypo-skeptical, meaning that he thinks that he may be too skeptical and I'm not skeptical enough. Oh, what does this mean? What does this have to do with anything? What exactly are you talking about? Well, if we talk a lot about theology because we both are, I graduated from seminary, he's still attending it and going to be graduating soon. We might see a situation where in this church, someone has been healed or whatever the case is. And I'm more apt to say, cool, I'm glad God did that. Whereas he wants to go and find out, okay, where's the doctor? Who determined this? Who did this? Is there any record? Why would you stay silent about this? So forth and so on. with that said, I don't just easily believe, anything that happens. There's a thing. And so I tend to be more trusting in the sense that if someone who has no reason to lie to me, as I deem, comes to me and says, well, I had knee problems and someone prayed for me, and those knee problems are now, I don't have them anymore. Okay, cool. So, let's look at these things real quick. A, is this person trying to sell me anything? No, they're just saying do it. B, what benefit does this person have to lie to me about this? I don't know. Maybe I'll go to his church. Who knows? Okay, put it aside. C, if the Christian God exists, which I believe he does, could he heal someone of their knee or heal someone of their pain? Absolutely. Okay. Does this person, will they be healed in the future? I don't know. Let's find out. So if time goes on and their knee hurts, well, then I tend to assume, okay, maybe it wasn't healing, or maybe they did something and the healing was taken away. But that to me isn't a big problem to go ahead and credit something to God when he could easily do it. Whereas some other people, they don't want to do it because to give credit to God for something that is false would be just as egregious to them as me not giving credit to God for something that he may have done. Or they might say, well, as an example with me, I had back surgery, and when I was on it, I didn't realize at the time, but I ended up being addicted to oxycodone, and so I went through withdrawals, and that was a lovely experience. But while I was, so after I got rid of the oxy and I went through withdrawals and stuff like that, I was still taking, 8 Tylenol, or the full dosage of Tylenol a day. And I went to a conference, and so I would be taking, and I served on a weekend retreat thing. And so someone prayed for me. I didn't take the pills that night, and I didn't take the pills in the morning, and I haven't taken pills for my back since. Was it God? I'd like to think so. Could it have been the situation where I really wasn't in pain, but I was taking the medicine anyway? Maybe. I do know that I could tell when the pain, when like the Tylenol was wearing off, and when it was about, the 4 to 6 hours between it, because I'd start to have an uncomfortable stiffness in my back. And that wasn't there anymore, and that hasn't been there anymore. So I think we kind of run to an interesting thing of maybe some people being too skeptical, some people not being skeptical enough. There's a fine balance to do that. Outside of Christian circles, could we be too skeptical? Yeah, of course. There's people who can be so skeptical of something they don't take into account other people's opinions or other people's evidence and stuff like that. Well, I don't care that you were able to prove X, Y, and Z because I don't believe that Z could ever exist. Therefore, I'm not going to even look at your research on X and Y and I'm not even going to look at that conclusion. Or someone who could be not skeptical enough, they just believe whatever, and they're just like, oh, well, now I'm a Church of Scientology person, and the big guy is gonna my Clumo levels or whatever it is. Who knows? I don't know. That's why I don't speak intelligently about that. Anyway, I guess to the overall thing, we'll do a quick recap. Today we talked about skepticism. Talked about some people can be too skeptical, some people can be not skeptical enough. Sometimes people who are skeptical can end up having faith, even though they're questioning faith. Talked about the science of the gaps, which argues basically, well, we don't, in the same way the God of the gaps, that, oh, we don't know, but science will find out. We talked about how sometimes in the Christian world, we can be maybe too eager to credit something to God, i.e. claiming healing when it could be a placebo effect, when it could just be the fact that maybe you're sitting down for a while, whatever, or vice versa, not claiming it and always looking for the scientific or the plausible, the naturalistic way out. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you. I won't see you at all. I will talk to you tomorrow. In the future, you can look forward to more exciting things, such as, and not limited to, I don't know. I do want to do, there's a couple things that I want to do videos. I want to do a response video to the agnostic plague doctor. I also want to do a response video, or at least a discussion about queer kid stuff. So you're going to get me started on that. I'll see if I can find one that isn't just terrible. I think that's it for now. Cool. Y'all have a wonderful day, and be blessed.